Hello and welcome back to Series 2, Episode 3 of FootieTalksPod. I am joined again by Paddy, Toby and James. Say hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
That was really good. So we are going to talk about all things Premier League, the potential of the European Super League, Premier League spin-off thing, and whatever else has been taking the headlines. But I think the first logical place to start is the Merseyside derby. As Toby predicted, it would be a draw. It ended up being a controversial 2-2 draw.
Yeah. Was it a draw? I think we should just say it was a Liverpool win and count the 3 points.
It was very messy. It was a proper derby.
A great game.
It was a proper derby, wasn't it? Everything happened. First place to start is probably Jordan Pickford. Not a great tackle, was it?
I mean, can it even be classed as a tackle?
It was just
a
borderline assault.
Yeah. I do think that I don't know if I've got the right opinion about this, because I was thinking about this through the week. Obviously, it's an awful challenge. Obviously, Van Dijk being out for the title champions is a big deal. But I saw a tweet that was like, if Kasper Schmeichel did that to Dale Stephens in the same weekend, same day, no one would care. It wouldn't be talked. Well, we'd care, but it wouldn't be talked about as, oh my God, he's potentially ruined a career there. Oh my God, he should face the same time out as Van Dijk's got out. Oh my God, let's set up a fund for Dale Stephens. I don't know why I'm picking on Dale Stephens here. I hope he doesn't get injured. But I just think, I don't know. I think a lot of the reaction is a bit overwhelming, but it was a horrible challenge.
Is it getting the attention because it's Jordan Pickford and he's been in some poor form, or is it because it happened to a Liverpool player? Which way round is it, or is it a bit of both, do you think?
I think it's probably because it happened to a Liverpool player, yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
100%. And I think they can get the, it was in the Merseyside derby, so they can get that rolling and try and, frame it as it was done with intent because Jordan Pickford from Sunderland, I think he's from, has a big thing against the other side of Liverpool. It's like, no, that's not it. But I think it was Piers Morgan said, awful challenge. Like, if that was done in the street, you'd get done for assault. And it's like, Piers, if I went up to a gran and slide tackled her on the street, but got her wheelchair in front of her.
On the ball.
Yeah, you just go like that in the street.
Police officer coming up, running VAR and checking the Morrison's security cameras and going, actually, he had his studs down. It was only 1 foot he went in with, so it's fine. No, it's a really big unconscious Liverpool bias. And I think a lot of the discussion around it, when people are framing it as this big thing, is kind of because it was a Liverpool player, but they don't acknowledge that. That's the part that worries me.
I'm not sure it was even the worst tackle in that game, because Richarlison on Thiago was just nasty. Deservedly red card. Did you see the photo of Luca Dean taking the red card out of the referee's pocket? It was very controversial.
In that moment, there is no way that I can actually like Everton more. And then Luca Dean does that, and I'm like, yes, you're my team for this season. I love him.
It was a game overshadowed by VAR and offside, because obviously the Pickford foul was overruled because it was judged to be offside, even though David Coote was then told, it's come out after the game, that he didn't actually know that he could call the foul because he thought the offside overrules it. And Jordan Pickford's goal disallowed because was it Sadio Mane? Was his armpit offside?
Yeah, his fingernail was probably offside.
Yeah. And it was a great goal.
Which felt a bit weird.
I didn't think it was offside. I saw it and I was like, oh, it's 3-2. It's like last minute winner. Shame. I prefer a draw or an Everton win. Liverpool probably deserve it. And then it's like, oh, wait, hold on. and it's the lines come out, and then once the lines come out, you're just like, oh no.
It just makes you worry because it's like, will VAR be in it from next season? It really makes you question, is VAR a good thing at this point?
It's getting to the point where it's not.
This is the problem I have. The introduction of technology into football is right. It's the implementation of it, and it's people running it.
The VAR is a good thing. It's the law on the offside and we're using the line that needs changing.
It's if we want to make our game better, fairer, some entertainment is taken out of it. But if the right result comes out in the end, that's the best outcome. That hasn't happened.
But who cares about?
It didn't happen in that game because either the law is wrong or the people judging the law and that game and the implementation of the rules in that game got it wrong. And that's what happened on Saturday, Sunday, whenever it was. Saturday.
When we say that it's like the implementation, and a lot of it, I think people say it's human error, and that's why it's going wrong. Surely it's happened too many times now for it to just be human error, because we've had this conversation for a year and a half now, and it's like it looked so good. I think it was in the World Cup when it first was brought in. But what's the rule and the offside rule are obvious, terrible things, and they're part of the problem. But if the people in VAR have been reminded numerous times that this is how something should be in place, or the referees are told, go use your monitor, please, for goodness sake, bloody use the monitor, and they don't, is it still human error, or is it just nothing's changing?
But I think it works in other places. It works flawlessly in other places. The World Cup, it worked flawlessly. It was the referees looked at the monitor and judged it, whether it was a foul or whatever it was. It works. It works in other places. I don't know why it isn't working in English football. I don't know whether that's a substandard of refereeing, of whether our handball rules or our interpretation of the handball rules are different, or whatever it is. But I do think technology does improve the game. Goal line technology, apart from that one time last season, has worked seamlessly. And for the better, everyone wanted it. Like you think back to what could have happened with technology, and we'll do the same thing in 10 years' time, where we look at it, and now we're being like, what if we had GLT with Frank Lampard? It would have made it 2-2. We would have had the momentum. Would we have?
We would have won the World Cup.
But it's a would be. It's would. What would have happened? We're going to look in 10 years' time.
Yeah,
And be like,
what if?
What?
Yeah, but that's. I don't see the point in saying what if. Like that was like 2010. That was that 10 years ago now. Like we can't.
But
like
still
it's all well and good, but like.
Yeah. We're still saying what if now about what if VAR actually got it right? What if Villa?
Well, if VAR got it right, I would have said that Liverpool would have won the game. Like, they should have won the game.
What if Liverpool don't win the game and then they get a bad run of form out of it? Can we attribute it to a draw against Everton? I don't know. I think it's tough because it's just
so many grey areas.
Probably. Yeah, and I think with the goal line technology.
Sorry, we didn't catch what you said there.
You cut out. What did you say?
Me?
No. Yeah.
Oh, I just said that it's all black and white. It needs to be black and white like this or not. You know what I mean? It can't be just in the middle. Like.
Yeah. With the goal line rule, it's obviously if it's over the line, it's over the line. Yeah. But with an offside, it's where does an armpit start and end? Where does a toenail start and end? Can we count a player's shoelace?
Is that VAR's fault or is that the rule?
That's the rules. This is what I mean.
That's the rule.
I mean,
VAR
people like to jump VAR,
yeah.
but the rules are wrong. I always thought offside was you're offside if you gain an advantage by being in front of them, because you can't just stand in front of the defender because it's obviously offside. But are you really gaining advantage if like half of your armpit is beyond Joe Gomez?
Yeah.
No. When the line is called as when do you start to gain an advantage? if I have like part of my left foot in front of a defender in that line, is that gaining an advantage? How much is it if it's like my whole left foot? And it just still then is a bit too wishy-washy.
I thought if it's something that you can score with, it's beyond the last defender, it's offside. That's why arms weren't offside before, because you can't score with your hand. But like you can technically score with your shoulder or your armpit because it's not the arm or the hand. It's very messy, but I think it's the rule. VAR comes into it. I think you have different people each game at Stockley Park each week, so you're never going to get 100% accuracy or fair test. If you have one man or woman, or you have one person running it each week, and you have the same panel running it each week, you're going to get the same decisions, and you're going to get fairer. That's the VAR rant over. Probably a weekly occurrence.
Yeah, there'll be something this weekend, and it'll come back up.
Yeah.
So, Project Big Picture, I think it was called.
Yeah.
It's dead in the water. The Premier League completely rejected it. I read reports saying they unanimously rejected it, but that must mean Man United and Liverpool voted against their own proposal.
No. The Premier League, as in the running of the Premier League, voted against it.
I thought it said all 20 clubs voted unanimously against it. Is what one headline said, which I thought was impossible because 2 clubs are putting this proposal together. But we were almost a week and a half later. The European Super League, European Premier League, spin-off Champions League thing, whatever is being talked about.
What a shock.
I'm unclear what it really is. Is it a new league, as in Man United and Liverpool don't play in the Premier League, or is it what I've also read saying it's replacing the Champions League?
No. Okay. So the European Super League is a league that takes the best teams from Europe's top 5 leagues, including 5 Premier League teams, to create a whole new league division where they would play in that instead of the Premier League. A lot of things I find interesting about this is firstly, like kind of the threat of a European Super League has been around for about at least a decade now. We've heard about this. I think like it got to like FIFA 13, and when you can switch the teams and the leagues in career mode, and you make a European, like I don't know, the Belarusian division or whatever. So you didn't have the relegation or whatever. But it's been quite well talked about. There's a lot of opportunities here for business and not entertainment, but it looks to be something that is more promising now than ever. This would obviously replace an actual league season, so this wouldn't be the Premier League. I don't know if they'd still be in Champions League, I guess.
No, but it sort of defeats the point of it. You surely, for me, it sort of feels like it's the fun thing to do on FIFA and Football Manager, like it's a one-off save. But then you get into problems is, would you keep the Champions League if your biggest attractions aren't in it, if they're in their own separate thing?
No.
Because you're in the same league, you can't play. The point of the Champions League is you can't play people from your own league. It's sort of,
the thing is though, it's kind of like a is it the entertainment value that they're doing it over history? So as you say, it's fun to do it for a season or 2 on FIFA. But imagine if it actually happened in real life, and then so this week you've got Juventus away, next week you've got Bayern Munich at home, then in the Capital One Cup you've got Real Madrid. It would be exciting playing these big teams week in, week out. One of the issues that I first saw with it is it said 5 Premier League teams.
Yeah.
Now, which teams miss out, which teams get in?
I mean, we're missing out Tottenham every day, aren't we?
This is what I mean. Historically.
Yes, we are.
Why? Because they got to a Champions League final, like what, 2 years ago now?
Yeah,
when did you
won
guys get to a
anything in
Champions
12
League
years.
final?
2006, James.
Okay, well that's a bit too far away for me.
But for me, is it based on your Premier League performance last season? In which case, you'd have a clear 5 teams. Would it be based on the European coefficients?
Yeah, which I think actually Chelsea are the lowest out of the 6.
But they've won a Champions League. Surely if you've won a Champions League.
And I wouldn't put Chelsea below Tottenham, definitely. No way.
No.
See, how can the Premier League send 5 teams, but it's an 18-team league? So 4 divisions, then what, send how many teams in?
No,
I'm guessing Germany won't send a lot.
Of Project Big Picture. So Premier League would carry on as the 20-club thing that we have now, but the 5 teams would just leave the league.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I'm saying, like, I've read it was like it's like an 18-team proposal, right? For this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
So like 5 teams go to the Premier League. So say it's Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea.
I think you're jumping a bit quick there with Arsenal, but sure.
We'll pass that one.
Wait. If you're talking about the 5 biggest teams in England, you go historically, and
we are up there.
Fine. Not
historically. What's the point of historically? Because then I'm putting Nottingham Forest in.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's the point of historically if I'm putting Aston Villa in?
But historically, the big 6, if you're going to take 5. Arsenal are a more successful team than Spurs. They are, regardless of if we.
When was the last time you won a Premier League?
2004.
Okay, Leicester City won it in 2015? Why shouldn't they be above you?
Because you can't. I know what you're saying, James.
No, because you're going full. You can't just go modern, because then Spurs aren't even in the conversation, because Villa have got to an FA Cup final, Hull have got to an FA Cup final, Portsmouth have
Manchester United have regularly, recent years, been in the Europa League. Why do we deserve to be in it? Why should Spurs, who have reached a Champions League final, had title challenges, and been ahead of us in most seasons?
Title challenges. They've got.
No.
They finished 3rd in the 2-horse race. I'm sorry.
Are we just forgetting the whole Leicester season?
They finished 3rd. We finished above them.
We got above them.
Look.
Okay, so Everton this season, they have come in and they've absolutely rocked the league. They've got world-class midfield. They've got some great attacking options. They're maybe a bright future of the next over like 3 or 4 years in English football. They're obviously better than Arsenal right now. Why shouldn't they be in it?
Because where did they finish last season? You can't midway through a season say, right, we're starting the new league, we'll base it on 5 games in, and then we'll take the top 5 from then. Because then it's like, then none of your big 6 are going to be in there, or one of them is. It's stupid.
I don't think you'll ever be able to agree on the top 5 teams to actually go. Yeah, because you're always going to look at it from different angles. And obviously everyone's got a bit of a bias towards their own team, saying we're easy top 5, we should do that. Well, at least we would, but it's never going to work. And this is the problem behind the thing. Plus say they do put the 18 teams in and everyone miraculously decides who gets to go, they do that. How does it work? Like, does relegation come into there as well? Like,
I'm guessing not, because I think if you're making this league,
independent,
it's a business idea.
Yeah. But then what if one team drops off completely and is absolutely shocking in the league, which, I mean, probably wouldn't happen because of the funding they'd get from being just in this Super League.
So unless
they'd get battered week in, week out.
Like you've got, like, say, take the EFL and the Premier League and the EFL. If you make it a proper league structure, and then you say, right, we'll have, but then it's like, then you're taking every team out of it. It will probably be a standalone thing. But I don't know. You're right. You obviously have a bias towards your own team thinking, but the problem is because we have the 6 teams in the Premier League, obviously not in terms of league finish last year, but you've got Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea are the richest 6 teams in that league. Why do one of them have to miss out? A, and B, the 5 that go, surely that leaves that team as the clear favourites. So say if Chelsea's lowest ranked coefficient.
Why are we ignoring Leicester? I don't know why I'm deciding to defend Leicester so much, but they've literally won a Premier League in the last 5 years. They're a strong European challenger now in terms for going for European football. If anything, they're on the same level right now as Arsenal in the league, I'd say. Right, so you guys are what? Confirmed on top 4? No,
Well, not
you're
confirmed,
I
but
want
we're
to
still,
I don't.
we're still there.
Right.
Manchester City are going for Europa League and hoping for a top four scrape.
Yeah, so are we.
Wolverhampton Wanderers are going. Yeah, exactly. You're on the same level as Leicester.
Wolves aren't
right
in
now.
the Europa League. We can't back off with Wolves.
I'm sorry.
They could have
But
made
the
it.
side that they've got, they're still going for the same
Oh yeah,
ambition.
they're still a good side, but it's still, if you had to pick, still a stronger side than Leicester and Wolves. I'm putting out there.
I'm sorry. If you're making this league, you take the top 18 or 20, whatever you want it to be. You take the top 18 ranked European teams and put them in that league.
Yeah.
It's the fairest way to do it.
Okay.
It's the
Let me
fairest
find
way.
the top 18 if there's a coefficient anywhere.
Yeah, there will be.
It'll be on the UEFA website. They'll have the top ranked teams. It's the fairest way to do it because then it's genuinely the 18 best teams
UEFA coefficient
ranked by
ranking.
UEFA in this competition.
Okay, so the top 18. Here we go.
Right.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid.
Fair.
Juventus.
Fair.
Manchester City. That's our first English club.
Fair. One.
Yeah.
PSG.
Yeah.
Sevilla.
Okay.
Manchester United.
Yeah.
Liverpool. Arsenal.
Yeah.
Shakhtar Donetsk. Dortmund. Spurs. Lyon. Chelsea. Roma. Napoli.
So yeah,
Okay,
you
so-
take them 18 teams.
Or the top six. You're missing out, for example, at number 21, Ajax. Champions League semi-finalists in recent years, Europa League finalists in recent years.
Was the
You're
Eredivisie
missing out-
in that conversation though?
Yeah.
The Eredivisie in the conversation, what we'll take teams from X, Y, Z leagues.
No, but the Ukrainian League wasn't,
Right,
and
it was
Shakhtar Donetsk, wasn't it?
Right, but then
Yeah, so maybe we just take out Shakhtar.
Okay, and then the next team from the big leagues would be Bayer Leverkusen.
Bayer Leverkusen.
Okay, we're also missing out here. RB Leipzig, Schalke, and Inter Milan. Lazio, who beat, of course, Borussia Dortmund last night. You're missing out. Athletic Club, Frankfurt. Now it's really getting into kind of the teams that maybe wouldn't push it. Leicester are all the way down in 70th. Rapid
Yeah.
Vienna, a point above them in 69th.
Leicester have had one season in European football. I don't
Yeah,
care if they've won
currently
the Premier
they're
League in the
bigger
last
side
5 years.
right now than
They've had
Arsenal.
one season.
No,
This second
Leicester would not get in above us if it's on coefficient ranking. Nowhere near. Like, that is, you can look at the squads and be like, they've got a good squad. They're going to do well in the future, most likely. But this is their second season in European football.
You've also
They
have,
would not get in.
you also have to think of who's going to bring in the most money and viewing figures. People are going to watch Arsenal
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
Real Madrid, Arsenal, Barcelona, Man United. They're going to watch it. Are people really going to tune in to watch Leicester versus Shakhtar as a neutral?
No, of course not. But at the same time, it's like, so say they are running it as a business, and so Arsenal would get it. Back to the relegation point. Yeah, they would, because if they're going for a business, Arsenal are one of the biggest clubs in terms of viewing figures, and
Yeah, but not,
especially in
but
China.
not compared to Tottenham or Chelsea.
No, exactly. So you guys would then have to drop out.
Spurs have a new stadium, so therefore, I don't know who it was said that they make sense to be in it.
So I just want to confirm this right now. You're not bigger than Tottenham
Oh,
commercially.
no.
No, but I'm saying
No.
if you're running it as a business,
No.
if you're no, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm obviously going to say Arsenal are in there over Spurs. If you're running it as a business, you look at teams with bigger stadiums. Tottenham have a bigger stadium than Arsenal. Arsenal have a
And
bigger stadium
Chelsea.
than Chelsea, but commercially as a brand, Champions League winners have a place in there. So Chelsea, as a brand, as former winners of a European top level competition
Yeah.
in the last decade, go in. Spurs, runners up, brand new stadium. Like as a neutral, as a business looking in on it, make more sense. Man United, Liverpool have the brand to earn it. Man City, have won Premier Leagues, have won numerous trophies, haven't performed in European football
On the big stage.
but are one of those big teams. As a business point, looking at it, who will bring in the most viewing figures? How many fans can we get into the grounds? Tottenham have a bigger ground than Arsenal and Chelsea. if you're looking like that, unfortunately, I think Arsenal miss out.
Yeah.
Deservedly so. I'd say you put Arsenal, Chelsea in there over Spurs.
I do think personally that
I think the
this
Spurs
whole
just run its course. I think they made the final. They made the final, and that's what they've done since. Like
above you in the league.
European wise.
What have you done since then, European wise?
Well, we got to the final of the Europa League, semi-final of the Europa League the year before. I know it's not winning it, and it is the Europa League, but it's still getting to the final of a major European competition.
We've both been Champions League runners-up. Okay, Arsenal in 2006 against Barcelona, and then in 2019, whatever it was, against Liverpool. Since then, I know it's been a longer period of time. We've won 3 FA Cups.
4, isn't it? Well, there was whole Villa, Chelsea.
4 FA Cups. 4 Community Shields. League Cup runners-up, and we consistently up until a few years ago finished in the Champions League. Since 2006, Spurs haven't done anything apart from reach final of the Champions League and finish above us because they have more investment in their squad. They've built a new. They have. You can't argue that. Daniel Levy.
No, they have. Yeah, I agree completely. I agree. They have had more investment, and thus have been a more successful side
in the last few years. No, but do we attribute success to finishing top 4? Do we? No, because please.
No.
No, please tell me.
It's top 4 a trophy. We go back to Arsene Wenger days.
Can I just say, I've been sat here for all of this. I'm loving this. I don't get what I'm doing.
Top 4 is not a trophy, because otherwise we had that one in the bag for 20 plus years.
An Arsenal versus like whoever podcast. I really don't. But Arsenal got ridiculed for 21, 22 years, whatever it was, for aspiring to finish top 4. And accepting that as standard. Are we now attributing Spurs as finishing top 4? Did they finish top 4 last season? No. Are we attributing Tottenham's success by finishing the top 4 and losing the Champions League final? Please, because you can apply the same logic and say Arsenal achieved more.
Okay.
We won cups.
You guys getting top 4. The reason why you guys were ridiculed back then is because it was a much easier time to get in the top 4 if you were as big a club as you were. Now there are a lot more challenges. There's a lot more money in the league. So getting top 4, I think, maybe not an achievement, but it's certainly worth more than a decade ago. Just on the FA Cup point. This may hurt, but But you don't think
it's a trophy? It's a trophy.
If Tottenham won the FA Cup this season, they would be very happy. Very happy.
How many clubs, right, do you reckon go, oh, do you know what? Yes, but we're big because we've won a DFB Pokal. We're big because we've won the most Copa del Reys. We're big because we've won the most Coppa Italias.
But it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
It's not saying we're big. It's just saying one more than Tottenham. If they won the FA Cup this season on the back of a 12-year trophy drought, they would be happy. It was on the back of our 9-year one, which was not a very nice period. If they won the FA Cup and then if they go to win it 4 more times in the next, 5 years after that, or 6 years, they'd be happy. And then I know it's the Community Shield as well, and it counts for nothing. But to win the Community Shield on the back of that 4 times, it's not bad. Everyone disses the FA Cup too much, but that is a major achievement.
I think we've spent a lot of time arguing about Arsenal and Tottenham and Man United and how big of clubs we are. We'll take a break. We'll come back to it. Probably not.
No, Josh, you need to take a break. You've got quite heated there. I think it's you need to take a break.
We will talk about Chelsea, Man United coming up this weekend and Arsenal, Leicester. So catch us after the break.
Right, welcome back to part 2. Last night there was a good game, wasn't there, James? You got the
Yes,
shirt on, we
very
destroyed
good.
them.
Yeah, this is as a United fan, some would call it blasphemous to wear this right now, but actually since we're the best team in Paris, Manchester United, I mean, I can actually wear this as a Manchester United shirt because I think it's legally now, we own anything to do with Paris Saint-Germain because of the
Right,
big
I think if we're actually being serious, I know we don't actually own Paris, but I think that was genuinely one of the best defensive displays Man United have done in a long time. Like, considering I know PSG were awful, like they were generally they were very poor. Neymar didn't turn up at all. Like Mbappe was dangerous, but Twanzebe was literally we've needed Twanzebe.
Yeah.
Watching
Who would have
Twanzebe that
thought?
game and then looking at Maguire, what we've had is just such a big difference. Like I
Neymar
think
was
Wan-Bissaka,
80 million.
If you
Yeah.
drop the guy that had a brawl in Greece and has had like an awful start to the season and a bad James Corden lookalike at left back, if you drop them and actually bring in, a really, really good left back who looks solid to make his debut, Champions
whose
League.
corners are literally mad.
Yeah, and one of England's best young centre backs. If you bring them in, we might actually look okay.
So
But no, like Wan-Bissaka's
was Maguire dropped?
tackling.
I thought he was left out for injury reasons.
No, he was injured.
He was injured, but
He was injured.
Was he injured or was he injured?
Oh,
He was
we
a bit-
don't know.
Because
I
I think Neymar more thought it was like a floor gymnastics competition. Spent most of his time on the deck.
doesn't he always? It's so nice to see a really confident Manchester United side again.
Yeah.
I think that's what it showed more than anything. It was confidence and a team that actually believed in themselves. Because I think at the start of the season, we've had a lot of with the unrest surrounding transfers and the inability to sign Jadon Sancho, and no one really knew what was going on because the people upstairs weren't doing their job properly. It's kind of like what will happen now? Is it where is my face in this squad? Where is this squad going? But when you put together Tuanzebe, who hasn't played since December last year, who wants to play, who's back from injury, performed flawlessly for us in the past, Alex Tellez to make his debut, and it's like it's not an easy place to go for like a first start back in like a year and a debut. But if anything, to put him up against one of Europe's elites, that's a perfect debut. That's a perfect, like, I'm going to prove what I can do here against the biggest names. Because I think, if anything, you're going to be more pumped up if you face PSG for your debut rather than Brighton away.
It was, I don't want to say it was a really good performance by Man United. I think Solskjaer got it bang on. I think it was one of the first times since I think probably that March 2019 game when you beat him, he's looked properly good, promising manager.
He has his moments. He's out Guardiola'd enough times, and he got the points off Klopp for the first time last season. I think Newcastle, for as bad as they were at the weekend, he did a good thing with how he set us up.
To go to Paris and as an out of sorts team that people are laughing at, and even you got off the back of a 4-1, but it wasn't really a 4-1 kind of game. To do that shows that he's got something about him. It'll be interesting to see if you can carry it on into the weekend.
And I think it's quite promising because it also means the players are backing him now. We don't win 2-1 if the players don't believe in Ollie. So
no,
I think that puts a lot of rumours to rest.
Ollie does this funny thing. Like for me, Ollie, he puts himself under, or the team put him under pressure because they have a bad run of form.
Yeah.
And then he gets himself out of it, but with the big results. And then I think he'll go back into the bad bit of form, and then he'll pick himself up. It's like we're not going to do anything this season. I don't think we're not going to reach the heights of whatever and win a trophy. But he'll just keep being there because we don't want to sack another manager.
No,
he'll just keep
this
pouring
is
himself out of danger.
Third time he's done it as well.
Yeah.
How long is his contract? Just out of curiosity, do you know?
Hopefully.
I'm not too sure.
I'll have a look.
See, I think
Sorry.
that result yesterday was really important for Man United because you've got some, like on paper, tricky games coming up. So you play Chelsea obviously at the weekend. We'll come to that in a bit more detail later. Then Leipzig in the Champions League at home, but Leipzig did very well. Quarterfinalists last year, I think it was last season. Then you got Arsenal at home. Arsenal at home. Then you've got the easy game in the group against Istanbul, Başakşehir. But then Everton.
That's what we'll lose.
You've got probably a tricky 5 next games. So that result was, I think, especially important. Not necessarily saying I'm fearing our game in November, but if we lose our next couple, which is a real possibility, and you beat Chelsea, beat Leipzig, I think you'll come into that as favourites. But it was a very good performance from United, deserved win, great goal from Rashford at the end, and a tactical masterclass from Solskjaer.
I think it was really good as well to see ice cold Martial getting on the score sheet as well.
Why you got to bring us down for?
Just wanted to chuck that one in there.
When was the last time you beat PSG? Have you beaten PSG away?
Oh, we
When
beat
was the last time we played PSG? We got made
Yeah.
Actually,
Europa League.
We battered
Europa
the 5-1
League.
pre-season 5-1 battering. I remember it a few seasons ago. No,
You're not a
in the
big
same way,
team. You're not a big team. We're not going into that competition. I mean, you're not a big team.
I was going to come in and praise the rest of the performance. Like,
All I'm
Toby
saying is-
played well. Everyone else played well, but Martial did not play well. I can't.
But I think either way, we got the points, and it was good that we didn't play players like Greenwood and that, because I think that means we've still got, if we can beat PSG and still have one of England's best youth prospects, our £80 million centre back who's worth about 30. Some really good players in and about the squad that didn't even play in that. It's promising. It's a bit more depth, which I think was part of the targets of this season. You've obviously got Cavani to come back into the squad, and I think that should be promising. And he might be able to help Martial find a bit of form again. But a good way to look at it, I think, is that's a good 3 points in one of the hardest games against the season, or hardest games in the season in the European Super League. And it's a big advertisement for that. But no, I just think it was brilliant. And it really shows a bit of a promising sign, especially in Europe, maybe for United. Because if we focus on Europe this year, we won't win the Champions League, but we could get a good run out of it. And maybe that's what we need.
How confident would you feel playing them in the next game in the group, playing PSG at Old Trafford? Because I think PSG, I don't want to say will batter you, because I don't think they will, but I think it's going to be a much, much harder game for United to play at Old Trafford against them than to play away, I feel.
Yeah, I think we are more of an away side this year. I think we're more of a counter-attacking team. Like, the pace we've got up top, like, if we play, like, Fred and McTominay played, I think they played very well last night. The way they broke up the play, that suited their game. Like, the away style of play, like getting the ball up quickly, winning the ball back, they wouldn't be suited to keeping the ball that we need to do at home, if you got what I mean. So I think that's where I wouldn't. Pogba worried me when he came on because he hasn't got the discipline. But maybe at the home game we would need him for his creativity. Like it's. I don't know. I want to see Van der Beek more. I do, rather than get his 6 minutes again. But I don't know where he'd fit in. But I would rather try and play like a counter-attacking style. That's why I stick to that formation from that on. I honestly think that'll be our formation.
I'm slightly worried about it just because, as you say, I think we like to be the underdog.
Yeah.
Now we beat them, and if we go to at home and we've got a fully fit side and we have to beat them, and we're favourites for it, I think that's where we mess up and slip up. But I think something that we've changed about that in the past, say, 6 months to a year, some of the signings you got, Bruno demands a lot of everyone. It's become a Manchester United meme now that he will never stop complaining. We beat PSG 2-1 and there was a picture of him going through, I think, just the ground, when the players are like in their tracksuits dragging their bags along. Actually, no, it was in the car park for Carrington or something. And he was like moaning at someone. And people were saying on Twitter, like, even the like car park wardens can't get away from Bruno wanting better of them. You've got Cavani, who's been at top sides for the best part of his career and has experienced having to keep up title challenges. You've got Donny, who's been part of one of the biggest Ajax side in the recent decade.
Promising side, I think we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, going for titles. And I think it's more the attitude that we needed, because I think you've got Scott McTominay, who's going to have the Manchester United spirit, but he's grown up in a Manchester United that has failed. We brought in Fred, who's grown up in this Manchester United team as a player who's been put down by the fans and has, in a way, failed. You've had, for example, Anthony Martial. Sorry.
For the fee he cost as well, he's not.
Yeah, he's been put down by rival fans and at times our fans too. So he's going to have a bit of a more negative personality. But when you got people like Marcus coming through with that can-do attitude on and off the pitch, Paul Pogba, I think, his titles, he's a very driven character. And if he actually gets on with Solskjaer, I think, which is quite nice. And he obviously gets on with a lot of the new signings quite well. I think that attitude change is really starting to click. And I think it's a really good time for United.
I think you guys are looking like a very kind of promising side now, actually moving into the future. Kind of away from, obviously, when Moyes was in there, everyone kind of knew you guys weren't doing the best. And then Van Gaal as well, again, wasn't the best. But do you think, because obviously when Ollie first came in, I think it was a big 5-1 win against Cardiff, and then kind of pushed through and played very, very well. Obviously now you're kind of picking up form, big win against PSG. Do you think the same thing's going to happen and you'll drop off again? Or do you think the attitudes can change completely and you can push through, maybe in the few seasons actually win the league, if Ollie's still manager there? Or do you reckon he'll drop off?
I reckon we'll have a drop off. But...
Yeah, I don't think Ollie will be there next season. I honestly think that.
Just think.
He'll be in some. He won't be. It sounds harsh, and it might be harsh, but I still don't think he's the it might be just a silly thing to say, but I still don't think he is the manager. He's not the. Yeah. He's like Mike Phelan is the guy that gets him going. Solskjaer's there to make the players happy. I think that's what it looks like from the start, and I think it's like when he got there, he got everyone on his side, but you don't really see him doing the work. I always see Mike Phelan as the guy doing the tactical stuff. That's what I think. I don't.
I'd be interesting to see what his actual contract says of his job description, because it's clear he probably doesn't have a lot of control over transfers either. That's obviously run by Woodward. The money comes in from the Glazers. How much control does he actually have? Like you said, tactically, is it him? Is it Phelan? Is it Carrick who's doing it? Who's running? Is he just there as the sort of figurehead of Man United legend? Coaching wise, is he all that? But your opponents for the weekend, Chelsea, drew 0-0 with Sevilla last night. Bit of a ball fest. They've included Petr Cech in their 25-man Premier League squad, which brings their total up to 4 goalkeepers in that squad. How much must Frank Lampard hate and not rate Kepa's talents for him to include a 38-year-old retired player and former friend who is coaching and performance director at the club as an emergency backup non-contract player, I think. So you played the other weekend. How do you see that going, and what do you make of Petr Cech's registration?
I hope he plays against us. Maybe Martial could score a couple. But it's so desperate by Chelsea. It makes no sense. Why would you just not use one of your youth goalkeepers? They're not good enough. Is Petr Cech really going to be better than someone in that kind of youth setup?
Is Jamal?
I don't think you have to register the youth players if they're under the age of 21. I don't think you have to register them.
Yeah, so why don't you use that spot on someone else? Why don't you just leave it blank?
Didier Drogba.
Yeah, get it back in.
I
don't really know why they need 4 goalies. I know we've got 4 goalies in as well, which I think is ridiculous. But especially when we're excluding Mesut Ozil, but like it just I don't understand why a team needs 4 goalies. 3 understandable, but 4 like especially 38-year-old Petr Cech.
Kepa, Mendy,
Woody Caballero still.
Caballero and Cech. So you've got 2 old keepers, 2 young keepers. Petr Cech surely isn't going in ahead of any of them.
It really is a big panic by Lampard. It's a very worst case. I don't know why he didn't just register himself.
See, I also can't believe that Petr Cech, who's retired, is a better goalkeeper than any free agent out there. You're telling
you don't have to pay Petr Cech an extra salary, do you? You can keep him on as your thingy director, and it's another player you don't need around the club.
But it's still.
Well, I mean, it's like
They could have gone for Romero. Like Romero's not even in the Premier League squad for us.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Liverpool should have gone for Romero. This is
They
what I
wouldn't have done
said.
Man United. They wouldn't have sold
Sold
him.
it to him.
Yeah, yeah. But they should have at least tried it. This is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I mean,
obviously Adrian's awful and Alisson's out.
But
worth
you've got Nyland, who was at Villa last year, did reasonably well, free agent. Michel Vorm, free agent. Subasic, free agent.
Yeah,
Rebellion.
the issue with that is why bother signing a player like that if that's more money to spend on wage in a time where clubs are saying about their financial difficulties. It's another player you need to keep happy in and around the club. They may understand their role there, being 4th choice goalkeeper, but it's just someone you have to worry about in the dressing room, speaking to other players, how they say things, whatever. Petr Cech's a club man through and through. You don't have to pay him an extra playing wage. He's probably not going to have to step in. It's just
a desperate
extra safe bet.
Wonderful if he did.
So for me, Jamal Blackman is on loan at Rotherham from Chelsea.
Yeah.
Has been at Chelsea as long as I can remember. He like playing FIFA and stuff. Why not have recalled him, not lend him out, kept Petr Cech in his normal?
Clearly not good enough.
It's another salary you have to pay.
If he's going out on loan everywhere, he's not good enough to play for Chelsea. If he's getting loaned out to Rotherham, how would he expect to get in?
As a 4th choice keeper, surely there's. But I don't know.
It helps Blackman more to play a season out at Rotherham to sit as 4th choice.
What is your predictions and thoughts about your game of the weekend? Then you're obviously playing Chelsea. Mixed form.
It's going to be a good game.
Chelsea obviously drew 3-3 last at the weekend. You have got back-to-back wins. Chelsea obviously drew last night as well. So confident?
I'm quietly confident, yeah.
No, I'm not. No,
Really?
Yeah. You got team
where is it?
It's our place. But James, they had Mbappe last night.
He's at Man United. Old Trafford.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go 3-1 United.
3-1 United. 3-1.
I'd be confident, but again,
I'd love it. But
quietly confident.
Because maybe a 2-1 Chelsea, I'd say. We're back.
That is if
2-1 Chelsea.
That is if like the players that we played on or last night play in this game. If Solskjaer doesn't play, like Rio Ferdinand and Hargreaves are all saying like on BT Sport last night that Tuanzebe has to play, and if he doesn't play, that will annoy me because Tuanzebe was arguably the best player on the pitch last night. If he doesn't play, it won't make sense.
Do you play Maguire or Lindelof?
I play play the same back 3. Maybe Bailly in for Shaw if was Shaw injured last night? He was a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, for Telles then, surely.
I'd play Telles.
Shaw and Telles both played.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaw played as like left centre back.
That's a really
I would stick to the same team.
You have it as like a 3, and then when PSG had the ball, you dropped into a back 5.
Yeah. I liked it. I think we looked.
A lot of people have been doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can make it work again, then yeah, I think I'd be confident with that starting 11.
So I think arguably that is the biggest game of the weekend.
Yeah.
Arsenal-Leicester is on the much talked about box office.
Paying money to watch Arsenal. Why would you want to do that?
No idea.
Not even a big team
to watch the bigger side, Leicester City. So
it's the first time I'm reasonably confident playing against Leicester. Not looked, obviously coming to defeat Villa. Obviously did beat Man City and beat them well.
They've got so many injuries, haven't they?
Yeah. So 3 months. Vardy doesn't look like he's going to play.
I think you have to win that game. If you don't win that game, then there's issues.
Yeah, we have to win to show a statement of we won top 4 this year. I'll say we'll win, but only just 2-1, 2-0, something like that.
No,
What about you, Toby?
I'm not as confident.
You're not confident?
At the Emirates? No.
Yeah. We'll get an early goal, sit back, and then concede.
I'm optimistic. You've got to be. And the other game that sort of stands out to me is West Ham Man City. Obviously, West Ham coming back, fighting back for 3-3 against Spurs, which was my highlight of the weekend. And Man City, who beat us, but haven't looked great apart from that. I think Man City are going to win it, but I think it'll be hopefully an interesting game, whether it's Man City Tonkin or whether West Ham show some fighting spirit.
Yeah.
I'll go draw.
I think they might get a couple, which would be good. They look really nice on the counter, so
maybe. Yeah. So we've got Champions League tonight. Do we?
Yeah.
The big. I think the big game's Bayern Atletico.
And Liverpool.
Yeah, I think so. I just wanted to make sure there was Champions League tonight. Sometimes they don't do it Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday they do it. They leave a gap. So, what are the games today? More Championship games.
The week tomorrow.
Yeah, Bayern Atletico.
Can we just give a quick shout out to one of my favourite teams, Reading? We are top of the Championship. Still unbeaten.
Massive.
Just like to put that out there, and yeah, we're going to win Championship.
Games of interest for tonight is obviously Atletico Bayern, Man City Porto, and Ajax Liverpool. Ones to watch out for.
I mean, is Sadio Mane still out with coronavirus or?
He played on the weekend.
Over the weekend.
Yeah, of course.
He scored.
So one to look out for there. Obviously, the best European competition returns tomorrow. The Europa League. Arsenal are playing Rapid Vienna.
That's the game of the week. That's the game that I really want to like.
It has to be.
Stable in the calendar. Arsenal against Rapid Vienna.
Everyone looks at it thinking they're Tuesday 7:45 Champions League nights.
Actually, it was 8 o'clock. It was 8 o'clock.
5:55 in Austria. Make sure you tune in. Leicester play Zoraya.
Who's that?
I know.
Celtic against Milan is the game of the round for me.
Yeah,
that's big.
Tottenham play Linz, and that is all the English involvement as well. So, that is it for European football this week. We've spoken about the Premier League. We've had a very fun discussion about the potential.
Well, you lot did. I was enjoying
what are your thoughts on the Super League?
Me?
Yeah.
Who's the last team's getting it?
So wait. So we all are we? So who are you? So the last teams. Who's the first 5 teams then?
No. You pick. What 5 English teams would you take and put in a European Super League?
So 5.
Yep.
You got to go Liverpool.
Relies on this.
You got to go Liverpool. You got to go City.
Yeah.
I'll beat Barca and put Man United in there.
No, but I think Man United are in that are safe anyway. So you got 2.
Right, so I'm gonna have 2 more.
Yeah.
And it's realistic. See, James is going to kick up a fuss, but it's realistically out of Chelsea, Tottenham, and Arsenal, really.
3 spots, and there's 2 spots and 3 teams.
Yeah.
Leicester aren't in this discussion. I'm sorry.
I'll go Arsenal and Chelsea then.
Yeah, I think that's the right. Yeah.
Just Spurs just aren't. They're not cut out yet.
How are you putting Spurs above us? Like, everything about them just is.
But the thing is that confuses me about this league. I reckon there should be like a relegation system, but I don't know how it works.
How would it work? So if
but you could say like the worst team of each country gets replaced by the winners of the league, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, but then what if?
Then you'd have to sign up each league to allow their teams to do it.
Yeah,
they wouldn't.
The thing also about not having a relegation is you wouldn't want to create this for a business venture, thinking that if we get smashed week in, week out by Europe's elite, that we could get relegated and not compete in it. So it's very much the 18 teams are there and they've got each other's backs.
I think it's stupid.
I think
I don't know if it will happen as in replacing it. I think we're more likely to see a restructuring of the Champions League or a breakaway.
But what's the point of the Champions League when all the big teams are in the Super League? Like,
that's what I mean.
It would affect the Premier League and all the other leagues like so much as well. If all the other big teams weren't in the league,
the
amount of money actually going into it, like the Prem, so all the other teams that don't make it would be so much lower. And why would a player want to come to the Premier League when they can play in the Super League? Because at the minute, obviously, you play Premier League, Champions League. But why would they come here if they could just go straight to the Super League? It would ruin the clubs in the Prem. It'd be awful.
Tottenham might win something, though.
Yeah. If us 5 go, Tottenham, goodbye, you can win the Prem for once.
Well, no, and then they'll probably lose to West Ham or something.
So, it has been one of the more enjoyable episodes we've done. It's been very fun. I've enjoyed our debates and discussions. Obviously hoping for an Arsenal win tomorrow and at the weekend. Likewise, you'll be able.
Wait, what's on tomorrow?
The Europa League. I
forgot about that.
In competition.
Sorry.
That one.
I forgot about
that. Biggest competition.
So we will be watching with eager eyes. We will be watching Sunday when Man United take on Chelsea, and we will be back next week to break down everything that has happened. So thank you for watching, and it's make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, all of the usual stuff. Obviously, thank you to Paddy and Toby. I think we can sort of call you regulars now rather than guests.
We just make this podcast now. It's what it is.
It's just our podcast.
So, if
you see my intro, it was amazing.
So, thank you for watching. Make sure you come back and watch us or listen to us next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.